and welcome to episode 146 of Naija's Geeking Out, your favorite comic book podcast with a Naija twist. Today we have a full deck. We've got a full house. So let's go around the table to Tunde. Today, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to be here to talk about the DC movie that I've
Mm.
not seen, but still we'll talk about it.
So there will be some surprising opinions and some that you would expect, but okay, let's not give anything away.
Yeah.
Right, Red, how are you doing?
Well, I'm good.
You're regular again?
I'm regular again, regular guys. Back to complete show. It's not complete without me. So
True.
Whatever.
And of course, you've got me, Cakes, and you've got our host, that one. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. My team just gave me a nice little 3 points, and yeah, it's good.
I mean, it's Crystal Palace, but okay.
I will take
Celebrate
it.
it.
I will take it, my friends. Okay, I will take it. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm glad to be back on the podcast so we can talk about some DC goodness.
Okay.
Even though the problem with DC is very apparent within this podcast itself. The DC fan who sat here has not watched it. So when
Extenuating circumstances.
excuse me, I don't want to
I don't know. Why haven't you watched it? Anyway.
Online, have you seen that meme? Online, DC fans, they're always screaming,
Yes.
rah, Sparta.
it's time to show up.
Yeah, in the cinema, you could hear a mouse, squeak. It'll be empty. These people, it is we Marvel fans that are even trying to help them.
Can you imagine? We're trying
With
to
our
boost
heart,
their
yes.
43 million or whatever it is that they did
That's
this weekend.
43 million.
Yes.
33 of it is Marvel. 33 million of it is Marvel.
So if you just give 33 of
Just
it,
small play like this. I mean, you guys don't understand the serious circumstances that will stop you from seeing a DC movie on opening night. Serious
Oh,
circumstances.
okay. Sorry, today. What's the name of the circumstance? What's her name?
Can we move on?
We're recording, So,
We're live. Can we move on, please?
Okay. You know what? Today is a DC pod. Like everything
Okay.
we got today is DC. So let's just
Yeah.
keep it pure. Today's day. Let's try to keep him happy. And
Okay, fair enough.
so today we've got TV, comic books, and movie.
Yep.
We got the trifecta today. Okay, this is great. Let's start off. Should we start off with TV?
Yes. Yeah.
I think we have a jumbo episode. We have a long episode today, so no news. My Adventures with Superman, episode 8.
Yes.
What's this called? 0 Day Part 1.
Yep.
Yep, correct.
Dropped last week. Has everybody seen this? Red.
Yes.
I've seen.
Yes.
Okay. So if I may just give a quick synopsis.
Yep. Sorry, go on. Yep.
That's all right. That's okay. Right. After developing super hearing and hearing everyone in the city crying for help, Clark runs himself ragged, trying to rescue everybody. He's sleep deprived and kind of weakened. We get the introduction of a new character, Vicky Vale,
Yes.
in this one.
Yeah.
And then she meets, like, Lewis actually has a hero, basically a hero figure that she looks up to, Vicky Vale. But the only difference, the clincher here is Vicky is in Metropolis to do a is it a stink piece? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. I think that's fair
A
enough.
stink piece of Superman. A hatchet job. Yeah, exactly. To kind of paint him in a negative light and try to turn public opinion against him. The original, the baddies that we've met, some of the baddies that we've met that are now part of Task Force X, they've been released on a work release program to help them capture Superman. So we're talking about Ivo, Banshee, Livewire. I don't know who that strong guy is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Rough
I have
House.
no idea. Rough
House,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. And the Invisible Dude. Yeah. And
Yes.
Slade.
Yep.
Yes. So they're all, they're now working as part of Task Force S in order to get a reduced sentence to try to bring Superman in. Now we get a super action an action sequence in this one, which is really good. But yeah, at the end, no, I'm just going to fast forward to the end. Superman gets taken away. Now, what do we have to say about this episode? Red, what did you like about this one? What's your take on this episode?
So let me first say, let me start by saying
Yes.
I was one of the first people who didn't like this show. I didn't like the
Mhm.
art, and I
Okay.
think I stopped after the first two. I stopped watching, but you guys kept
Okay.
saying. So it is growing on me. I actually like it. I don't want to reach, but
Mm,
this is the first time I think they've depicted Superman coming into his own with separate power sets
mm,
and how
yeah.
he reacts to them. So the
Yeah.
hearing,
Yes.
he cares, right? And this is where he's hearing everything and he's actually trying
Yes.
to solve every problem. And he's running ragged, he's tired,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
eating more.
Hasn't slept in days.
He hasn't slept in days, which is what you would expect a natural progression to be. And after some time, you would expect to start prioritizing. I mean, cats.
Yes.
So I did like that. I like the show. I'm hoping someday if you can talk to your DC people, you learn how to introduce power sets. It's not
Yeah.
that it just goes on top of the world, he hears everything and it just
Yeah.
auto tunes and the filter comes in 30 seconds and it just zooms
Yeah.
down. So that I really liked. I liked how that was done. That's a stand up for
I
me.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What did you think about Task Force X?
Task Force X. So okay,
This version that we have.
this
for Task Force
this
X.
version. So okay, yeah, that's another good question because he was holding back, and initially was like
Yes.
thinking he doesn't want to hurt them and
Yes.
everything. Again, back to how Superman is coming into his own and
Mhm.
unleashing power when he wants to, and not just when he wants to. I think he's also realizing he's stronger
Exactly.
than he knows.
There's
So
that.
he's slowly coming into his own. Task Force X. They're just there for me. No,
Yeah. Okay.
I like
okay.
that they're being blackmailed to do
Mhm.
what they're doing, but it's just
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Parasite. Yeah, Parasite. No. I like the way Superman was done. Others were
Okay.
like just as I expected. I would say. For me.
Couldn't care.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about the episode?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I think just going on from the last episode, which I enjoyed, I think this carried on my enjoyment of the show almost at the same level. I like the idea that they're showing his power sets. I actually did not realize he didn't have his full power sets onto this episode. It never,
Really?
I never, I did not even think about it.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Very much. Okay.
So clearly they now show that okay, this is the first time he's got his super hearing. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed a lot the Lewis Lane Vicky Vale storyline, which is kind of a change from the before. Because in normal universe, Lewis is the one with all the accolades,
Yeah.
So you never see her look up to somebody. So I kind of liked that kind of change,
Yeah.
even though Vicky Vale came across as a bit of a BR, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Now
Yeah.
I'm with Red. Task Force S leave me cold. Generally, I don't like the characters. I don't like, but well enough, I liked the Mist, the invisible chap, and maybe that's because he was forced into circumstance trying to do stuff just to save his friends. And
Yeah, but wasn't he? But he showed a collar, right?
I think it was part of. I think it was.
I think it was part of it.
It was
Yeah,
part of
I
it.
think it was part of the
yeah,
set.
but he was a reluctant part. He was not really. He had no choice.
They're all reluctant.
They all, yeah, they all to varying extents or varying degrees. I think they're all reluctant. It's just some of them have accepted their
I don't like.
fate more than
And-
others. I'm sorry. Go on,
But,
that one.
yeah.
Right. We
That
seem
was
to
I
have
thought I
lost
lost everybody for a minute.
Okay, no,
yeah,
we got
you
you back
did.
now. Go on.
We got you back. You froze for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was saying there's a trope I don't like, and that is trope where Superman was trying to stop that invisible guy, but it looked to the public like he was causing destruction and being a baddie. And the way the public quickly turns, and I always find it a bit.
I did
trite.
not like that at all. I'm like, little girl, you literally just saved you. Like, I mean, it was too quick, but in reality, unfortunately, when it's the same way we all quickly turn on. Sorry, I know this is going to sound a bit out there, but the way we all quickly turn on America, it was like, 1 minute we're like, oh, they're going to liberate. I know today's going to say something crazy, but 1 minute we're like, they're going to liberate people, and then it takes sometimes when you see someone who's more powerful than you, it takes one small thing for you to be like, you never really fully trust that person. So when there is like opportunity, it's kind of what you are expecting. You're constantly expecting that this person is going to go bad or something. So that's a more realistic take to me. It's tropey, but in reality, I don't know how people can fully trust a super powerful being that flies and is super strong and stuff. So that's just the nature of humans, I think. So then you talk about the episode. Let's see.
No, yeah, like I get your example, but please don't use America for that example. It's a
I know
terrible,
they've denied you
it's
several
a
times.
terrible
I know
choice.
they've denied you visa several times. Go on.
Ah,
See, as you just my country,
No,
my
he said. I
country.
think. I
no,
think he
I'm
wanted
not
to say.
applied though. No.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
Well, America, no. Let's not use them, please. They're a
Okay,
very bad
thoughts.
example.
Thoughts.
If
Thoughts.
you're talking Homelander,
we know you guys. We know you
Okay,
guys.
thoughts.
you can use them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thoughts
but
about
thoughts,
the
yeah.
episode.
I'm actually mostly aligned with what Red has said about the super hearing. I think the way they showed it was really well done. The fact that he lost all control and he was just trying to save everybody, he wasn't sleeping. I think that's a realistic depiction of what somebody would try and do in that situation. And then there were little bits later on when he starts prioritizing, and he's
Yeah.
prioritizing in a way that doesn't actually like an overly efficient person will say no. Like when he goes to save the cat, and you can hear at the back of his head, you can hear someone, you can hear someone in serious help, and Baba is saving a cat. And I'm like, yes, that makes sense. And I really want to see them. I really want to see him grapple with that aspect of his power more. I think that's what makes Superman interesting to me. He has all the powers, but who does he choose to save and when? And he cannot always present that human front. Like, oh, I can't be the guy that is saving people, talking to people, when I can always see the danger in the behind me. So how does it balance that going forward? That's something I'm really interested in seeing, and I'm very happy they're tackling it in this show. So yes, on that level, I really love those bits of scenes. You talked about Vicky Vale, and she's awesome. Like, she's my exact reaction. What I would react to is Superman that appears. That yeah, that's not like nope. Someone is flying around the world trying to save people and all of that. Yeah, he definitely has an ulterior motive. It's definitely this is a madman that does not make any sense because it doesn't make any sense normally for one random idiot to say, "Oh, I'm going to fly around and save everybody with my powers, and I don't want anything in return."
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it makes sense for her because she's from Gotham City. I mean, that shows the effects Batman has had on her. I mean, if you've lived under Batman, anybody else that puts on a cape is
I
automatically
actually
under
think that
suspect.
there might not even be a Batman yet.
Yeah, that's all. Is there a
But it's
Batman?
more
Possibly.
a what is it based on the environment? Gotham as an environment is a
Meant,
corrupt place
Because
that
yeah,
I
remember,
think
this
makes you
Earth
a
is a
cynic.
bit. This Earth might be a bit different, right?
it's very different. Yeah.
Very different. Because even for Lewis, she's the only Lewis who hasn't won an award by 21 when they were
Yeah.
showing them in the Council of Lewis.
Yeah, in the last
Yeah,
episode, yeah.
so
So
she
yeah,
Lewis is so Vicky Vale is actually what Lewis will be,
in the
but now
future.
we're in a different world. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm really enjoying the switch up in characterizations. Like, it's fun that Vicky is not what I expect, that Louis is not what we expect, that all these things, it's fun to see them in different lights, in new lights. It makes the show feel novel and not the same thing we are seeing for the past 75 years. I hope that's what the movie does as well, in different ways, like switch up the characters a bit to make them interesting. Hopefully, they go that direction. So, yeah, the Dapper touched a bit on the contrast between Louis and Vicky, and then they also interviewed Lex Luthor again in this episode. I like that. It's nice to see Lex Luthor back again, and they are steadily building. You can finally see that this is the beginning of his own journey. You can see the way he's thinking, the way he's talking, his thought process on Superman, and it's not exactly wrong. Superman did cause that massive destruction in his place of work that put people out of jobs. But yeah, it's good to see that. And but the weakest part for me is the Suicide Squad. I don't care for any of them. Like even that fight sequence, I get it, I get what they are going for, but I'm like immediately it started, and I know it's a very unfair comparison, very unfair. It was Invisible that came to mind. Immediately that fight sequence started. That was what came to my mind immediately. And so I kept on, and I know, yeah, different budgets, different scale, like all of that, but yeah. So it didn't really land home on me. I get they're trying to go for a weaker Superman and all of that, but still, it works, but it doesn't particularly work. I didn't feel the emotional. I wasn't emotionally invested in that fight as much as I would have liked to be in that particular sequence.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
No,
I thought it was a very good fight, to be
We'll
honest.
probably get a rematch at some point.
No, it's
Yeah.
not about the rematch. It's about
I
I
think
mean
that
how
could be well
the
done. Yeah.
how
it was
the
done.
action. Yeah. So like these guys
I get you.
are yeah.
I
So
get you.
so maybe, and like I said, it's okay. But so there's that as well. The I'm still not sure I buy their plan. I don't think their plan makes sense of trying to put Superman down. I don't get it why they are going that direction instantly.
But do they understand? They don't understand how strong he is, right?
No, even though it's you don't understand how strong it is, going directly on the offensive, I don't know. It strikes me as stupid. I mean, you first try to build out, talk to him a bit. Like I don't know how would I put now. Get more intelligence on him, try and understand his
Yes.
motives and all of that before you immediately go, oh, they're taking you out and all of that. I mean, there are lots of things you could have done first before sending a kill squad at him. It's been bugging me since the beginning of this season, but maybe there's a reason for it. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. There's been zero groundwork done on this Superman. Like this is not somebody that you see 24 hours in all the countries in the world. So clearly, this guy has a civilian life. So why haven't you tried to? The easiest thing is to dig into who is this person, where is he based, when did he land, but I get it. I think they're just trying to short cuts to the conflicts as to let's just move on and get into the big fights, so I see where you're coming from.
It would have made the conflict a lot more with more stakes if they had attacked him in Clark Kent's persona or something. Or some like they played around with that a bit, like there's something at stake for him. So yeah, that balance there, I don't know for me. So yeah, that's like my weakest part of the show. But like overall, this is my favorite episode so far, especially for the superhero bit. I have not like it's something I've always wanted to see in Superman comic, that they should explore him prioritizing the people he saves over the people he doesn't save, and why he does that, and when he does that in ways that don't make sense to. And I know how like best way to handle things, but like the most human way to handle things. Yeah.
I'm not just prioritizing him slowly coming to the realization that he can't save anyone.
He can't save everybody. Yes.
And that leads to the prioritization.
So yes, like
because another part was when he started prioritizing, there was also his what do you call that word? Where his own survival. He knows this guy wants to destroy him. So he's saving people, but he's looking and seeking out and thinking about looking for his enemy. Like, before they get me, I'm going to get him. So that prioritization is, come on, looking for the word. Self-preservation. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
So it's
self-preservation
really
is kicking in. Yeah, so I liked how that was done. I really did.
Because for me, I think that entire conflict, it's where you can tell the best Superman stories ever. You can focus in on, he chose to save this person, he didn't save this person. What are the consequences of that?
The conflict has to be well done, and the consequences have to be well done. You can't half step when it comes to those consequences.
Yeah, like
I don't see them exploring it fully in this.
Not in this.
We're talking about ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, like in Superman in general, most of the normal thing is he punches a bad guy, saves the day, he wins. But like exploring why he punches this bad guy, what is the consequence of him not doing this other thing here? Why is saving this cat from the tree? A building is exploding. Why didn't he do that? So, playing around with those kind of storylines is what I want to see more in Superman than anything else. So yeah, I was really happy with the episode.
Yeah. You guys have basically said it all, to be honest.
Something Marvel got right with Spider-Man in the 70s.
There seems to be there's some noise in the background. Okay, yeah, stop. Okay. I have nothing to add to this. Like, this was my favorite episode as well. I actually liked that action sequence, and I understood why they depowered Superman to an extent. Hadn't slept in days, clearly was underpowered, was overwhelmed with the sensory input from the hearing, from the super hearing, and then was still also holding back. Go on.
Did he not get also a kryptonite dose as well? Or Parasite took some of his
Parasite trained him as well.
Yeah.
Parasite trained him as well.
So he keeps getting. They made an effort to show that, look, this is not fully fit. Just woke up, Superman. That's why we're able to beat him. I do think General Lane is becoming that stock bad guy of to take him down. The stupid military man, the military man with a conscience. It's a bit grating, but I want to watch to see where it goes because Lewis hasn't seen that's they've never met thus far. Either he comes as almost like a vision to Clark or Superman, or in this episode they leave the park and the area of the conflicts just as
Lewis arrives.
So I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. So I wonder what's going to happen when it's probably going to be like he saves Lewis and then the general sees it happen and then he's like, oh, this guy's not that bad. Despite he saved loads of other kids and daughters and sons, is when it comes to his daughters, like, you know what, this guy's not bad. Ratings, should we rate this one?
Let's go for it.
Okay. By the way, I think the final episode is no, sorry. It is the final episode is 1st of September. So we still got 2 episodes left to go.
So that's 2 months.
8.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 9 and 10.
Okay.
Ratings, Red. Based on our reviews.
I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. Today?
Yeah, about the same.
That one.
3.3, slightly below last week's for me. Slightly.
Okay. I will go 3.6. It's not quite a 4 yet. Like I said, the show is gonna have to go a bit further to get a 4.
Yeah.
Enjoying it is all I can say. I started enjoying it.
Can I mention something that I've never really thought about before?
Yes.
The relationship between General Lane and Lois Lane. It parallels Betty and her dad. And I've never really thought about this until
which Betty are you talking about?
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
I think it's the same thing.
But it's exactly the same. But it never occurred to me until now.
Oh.
When Kex was talking, it kind of then I never saw it, but it's exactly the same.
It's always been the same, yeah.
You're having your matter moments. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the same. I think that's it works.
Yeah, General Ross and Bessie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, guys, go watch My Adventure with Superman episode 8. So, moving on to another DC fair, this time comic books. So, last week, we're going to read. What's it now?
I don't know what this is.
What's
an
it
old one
now?
Yeah,
it's old. I know the way you're sounding as if. Let me land now. So we're talking about Blue Beetle. Last week we read volume 1 of New 52 Blue Beetle, which is called Metamorphosis. This comprises issues 1 to 6 by Tony Bedard and IG Guerra. IG is the artist and Tony is the writer. So this is this the first appearance of the Scarab?
Yes, I believe so.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, official. This is the first time we moved from Ted Court.
Yes, yes. So the
Okay.
Scarab in terms of the technological
The
version.
scarab.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
not Ted. Yes. So this introduces us to the scarab. Khadija, something
Yeah.
like that.
Uh,
God, I don't like
as somebody from Ibadan would say, Khadija.
Kajikai.
You know what? Is it Kajikai?
Kajikai. Yeah.
Kajikai. Thank you. Yeah. So first appearance of Kajikai, the scarab, which bonds with the Earth Boy Jaime Reyes. And now this was something that you mentioned last week. That, well, if I remember correctly, that the scarab had actually been damaged,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
which was what allowed him to not take over the host, Jaime, in this instance. So I didn't know that. I just, I didn't, and I certainly didn't know the circumstances that led to the damage that the Scarab sustained. Anyway, Scarab comes to Earth, this intergalactic weapon that is used for colonizing planets, basically, and subduing planets. Comes to Earth, is knocked off course. Well, I wouldn't even say knocked off course, but gets into an altercation with a lantern.
Yep.
Falls into a wormhole of some sort, arrives in ancient Earth, is buried in a Mayan graveyard or something.
Temple, yep.
Yeah, is dug up, finds his way to modern day New York or wherever they are. Is it something Palmyra City or something? And bonds with Jaime Reyes.
Yes,
Then, so from there, kind of the issues 2, 3, 4, we are going through Jaime getting to understand and the Scarab trying to understand each other, because the Scarab keeps trying to compel him to do things, and to an extent, the Scarab can take over, right?
Yep.
Like maybe like for defense or attack or offense, basically, it's like it compels him to strike at people and stuff, which has dire consequences for one of his friends, actually, his best friend Paco, who is a member of a street gang or something. So Jaime stabs Paco by accident in the chest, and then in the bid to preserve him and keep him alive, helps him with some injects him with some nanotech. I'm going to call it nanotech, please, just which takes over Paco, and then Paco becomes like a red host
version. Yeah.
Red version, of the Scarab, a red beetle, for lack of a better word, who does not have the, let me not say limits, but do I say blockers or sorry, so what's the name again? I was going to say Khadija.
Kajikai.
Khadija. Let's just go with it. Let's roll into it. Hasn't been damaged by Khadija. So there's a fight basically by issue 5 or 6. There's a big fight between Paco in this red costume, his red scarab, and Jaime in his blue. Anyway, guys, what did we think about this volume 1 Metamorphosis of I remember we said that we're going to read this in the lead up to the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't here about that, so I don't know.
You were irregular?
I was regular in spirit.
Okay, regular unleaded. Okay.
So I read it, and I've read it before, but it was good to remind myself of the bits I'd forgotten, and there were quite a few bits that I totally forgotten about. I enjoyed it the same way I did it last time. Right? It's an okay story. It's an okay read. It's an okay origin. It doesn't blow me away, but it's not boring, and then it's not a bad story. I want to use the word, it's competently done, I guess, and fine. I did find it a bit. There was a time when they find the Scarab, there's a few incidents that happen, like one after the other, involving Jaime. I cannot get over not calling this guy Jamie since I've watched this film. Jaime and Paco. That I thought, this is too much now. But I kind of rode with it because Paco's a gang. Is a gang. He's not a gang leader. He's a gang banger. Yeah, member. Sorry, there's a gang member. There's some school drama as well that's going on at the same time. And fine, but it's okay. It's an okay story. It's an easy read, if I'm being honest. And so I enjoyed it. The bit I did not remember was the bit you just talked about, the Red Beetle part. I totally forgot about that part entirely. And I'm glad I read it because, to me, it ties in a bit to the movie in a way. So yeah, but overall, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I am not the greatest Blue Beetle fan generally, so I'm not talking about Hamey by itself. I found Ted Cord Blue Beetle, who's the one who's been around longest in my era. I found him I found him quite okay. I enjoyed him more for the comedy aspect of his character especially when he teams up with Buster Gold. So when they brought Jaime in, I thought, okay, fine, but I I am totally mad about the character, if I'm being 100% honest. And I also remember now, because I reread it, I remember feeling, all this gang banging thing, is this not a bit stereotypical? You know, for Mexican, I kind of thought, okay, fine. It was written in a different era, so I'm not going to touch that too much. But yeah, those are my thoughts generally.
Okay, so you mentioned about it being stereotypical, and not to hold on to that, but sometimes you kind of have to write what you know, and
Okay.
this is the reality.
Yeah.
This is the reality of some of their existences. You know, they live in barrios, they move up in life, or sometimes not. They are exposed at a very early age to like gangbangs and Mexican cartels and all that stuff. So, yeah, today. Sorry, you go for today, and then perhaps I will.
I'm not. What's this thing called? The book didn't blow me. Like, how would I put it now? I didn't find myself thinking into the book that much. I remember taking this book when it came out with New 52. I was trying to read everything back then, and I dropped it after a couple of issues. And rereading it now, I realize why. It's not. There's nothing. There's no. How would I put it? It doesn't hook me as a storyline. I like the characters well enough. Like Jaime is not a bad character, but there's nothing new, nothing that would like between him and Static Shock, between him and so many other similar kinds of characters, it doesn't stand out to me as far as I'm concerned. This Scarab story, backstory didn't really hook me as much as well. So like that's the problem with the entire book for me. It's not something that I want to continue reading. Basically, it's okay. I don't have any faults with it. I don't hate the book, and I think that makes it worse. Because if I hate the book, I am feeling strong opinions against it. But for this book, I'm not feeling any opinions for or negative. I'm almost apathetic to what is happening in the book. So I think that's where the problem is for me while reading this book. So yeah. That's my
Okay. No, that's fair. And I get it because I actually feel the exact same way. I struggled a little bit with this book. It's not, and that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with this book. I just couldn't get into it. I just struggled with it was kind of super simple, kind of. There was just nothing compelling, and this is a weird thing to say, but I actually I congratulate. Is that the word I'm going to say, or celebrate DC for sticking with this book and not just throwing away the character after it would have been very easy. I cannot imagine that the reception would have been overly positive for the character. But they stuck with it.
It got cancelled. The book got cancelled.
Yeah,
it was one of those books that got cancelled.
But they did a whole bucket load of New 52 books. They couldn't sustain. But they couldn't sustain all the 52 books. So if it finished organically, I can understand. But if they cancelled it midway, they're like, I'll sort it. And I'll be like, okay, that's not what but they've stuck with the character. At least we've seen him in other media. We've seen him in other books. Clearly,
they also stuck with Cyborg. It's not a...
No, but Cyborg is not a New 52 character. No, wait. But Cyborg is not a New 52 character. Why are we having this conversation?
That was a cheap shot. There was no need for that triple it.
No, but you cannot.
To be fair,
it's not my competition.
Yeah. No, you have a point too. I think he's one of the few diversity characters from New 52 that still exists in some way in the modern day.
Isn't a diversity hire? I don't get that impression. You know, he's just someone that no, one second. He's just someone that I feel personally that the culture is just important to. So I don't know. I feel
It's not a
you know,
diversity.
let me do this thing. Can I say something?
Okay.
Well, listen. Well, listen.
I have to check my glasses for this one. Okay, let's go.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. If DC had to get rid of one character, Cyborg or Jaime, who would you pick for them to get rid of? Cyborg or this guy?
Jaime for me.
Jaime, yeah.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't even go the way I expected.
Can I ask a question? Just on this topic itself.
Yeah.
And today you have to help me out here.
Yeah.
The new version of Dr. Fate was that New 52 as well?
The black guy. Yes.
Oh, the Indian guy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Is he Indian? Yeah, it was New 52.
The
Right.
non-white guy.
Yeah.
Is this
So
Since you don't know who he is, the same black, the same Asian, Indian. So.
I think he's meant to be. You said Indian. You said Asian. I nearly said Arab.
No.
Arab.
No.
So you guys,
he's
I gave you the
he's
easy
South
way out.
Asian. I'm telling you that he's either Bangladeshi, Pakistani, or Indian, or Kashmir or something.
Khalid Ben Hassan.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Khalid Ben Hassan.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Arab.
The non-Caucasian.
Egyptian.
I always thought
It was Egyptian, right? Because I remember reading that book, and there was something on the street of Brooklyn.
It was Egyptian.
Yeah, it's Egyptian.
I don't think I have ever put my foot in it like this before.
You know what? I did not even have to say words for you to come back.
The man came and said it's either Pakistan, Bangladeshi, Sri Lanka. He's even calling countries that don't exist anymore. What country? Kashmir.
Don't let Kashmir people hear you. It's a country, please.
Sorry. What country is called Kashmir?
It's like
Where?
saying that someone from Cape Verde will now be arguing that there's no country called. You saying that someone from Cape Verde that there's no country called Cape Verde.
No,
Is Kashmir a country?
No.
Is Kashmir a country?
Yeah, answer now.
Okay. It's not.
It's a region.
Exactly, it's a region.
No,
It's a country.
even region Gosef, you are. It's like Monaco or
No, it's
like,
a hotly.
No.
I know it's a hotly contested region between India and Pakistan.
It's like saying Oyo State is a country. Anyway, we have totally
This is not geography. Geography.
Yeah. Okay. So my part I was trying to make was there was a lot of diversity introduced as part of New 52. One being Jaime Reyes, one being Khalid Nassar, and so have all of them worked? In the end, I think all of them have almost been made. I don't think any of them have been. All of them have been made.
Let's see. No, I think I liked Khalid in his book. His books have been because he was introduced as a supporting character.
Yes, correct.
And I think he has grown in that role. I don't mind him taking over. Like, if you give me him and Dr. Fate, I don't care. I will pick him. I will even pick him sometimes. Yeah.
To be true, Nelson was boring as F.
Exactly.
Yeah. So So this guy is better than that. But it's not something. It's not. But if they captured him tomorrow, I wouldn't care either. Personally,
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a diversity hire from New 52 that actually worked and stayed. What's this thing? This Green Lantern girl.
The
one that is afraid. The one that was afraid. No, not Fast Sector.
No, but she paired with a Muslim guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jess Cruz.
Jess Cruz.
Yeah. I actually like her.
Yeah.
I like Jess Cruz.
Yeah. But Green Lantern has been their dumping ground for diversity hires. So
I mean, Baz is there.
Yeah.
Power Sector is there. Jess is there.
Yeah. And they're all good characters, to be fair.
Yeah, but the very nature of the Green Lantern comic books doesn't let them to shine for long individually.
Yeah.
But you're right. I did
Yeah.
like the new GLs.
I'm still thinking Black Wally West.
Not for me.
Wait.
For me.
Was that New 52?
Yes, it was New 52.
Okay. I will not be triggered. I will not be triggered. One of the worst ideas ever by DC, in my own opinion.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, let's go back to
Jaime.
Jaime and being trashed. Yeah. So I like the character, but I couldn't get into this book. I don't know why. Yeah, I couldn't get into it at all. I struggled with this book. But it's a character that I actually like. I just don't know if I would read a comic book of his. Yeah, maybe not this New 52 one. Even the recent one that came out this year, Graduation Day, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I read a few issues of it, but it was just so inconsistent that I was like, after a while, I just stopped. Yeah, I like him a lot. It doesn't mean I like Sam Alexander. I just like I don't know. I don't think I like this.
No, kids' characters are easy to like. Like this kind of characters, they are very easy to like. Kids getting powers and exploring their powers. It's an easy story to tell. True. Yeah. But if you put a shitty writer on it, it just becomes very generic and boring, and it becomes
very generic.
Yeah.
Because as much as I want to like Static Shock, I don't like Static Shock.
The new book or the character?
You don't like Cyborg.
Just to be clear.
You don't like Cyborg. You don't like Cyborg also.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. 1 second. I don't like Cyborg.
I'm establishing a pattern.
So I don't like Cyborg. I don't like Cyborg the character.
I can break that pattern for you. I bet you like Miles. I bet you like Miles.
I love Miles.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Miles. I don't like
and for me,
who?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like Static Shock comic books.
But
I haven't tried the new one.
What about the cartoon from back in the day, like that?
I love the cartoon from back in the day. I love the one that Reginald Hudlin did. I love it.
Yeah,
it's just.
Do you guys feel that Miles Morales is taking over the role that Static should have had?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's supposed to be Static.
There's only so much room both can take at the same time.
What? That sounds like one black person.
No. I didn't say role. I said role. They can show both of them in at the same time, but when you start exploring storylines, it starts narrowing. But I will leave that for another topic.
I don't want to agree with Red. But I think what Red is trying to say is they're almost the same character, almost the same character type, and Miles has had better comic written about him. It's more popular. It's been linked by Spider-Man. I don't know why this guy's laughing his head off.
I can tell you exactly why.
It's like it says they're trying to save me. What's
No. I'm looking at someone that is trying to save someone from drowning in acid. You're not safe yourself.
And
your grip is not strong.
Because in a way, the stories that Miles has, the way Miles has progressed, is what
go on.
Static Shock has been. Miles is now so popular. He's so cool. It's everything, which is everything that Static Shock was meant to be.
Yes.
But they did not. DC'd it as usual.
So you're trying to say two black boys must have the same stories?
No, two black boys cannot walk down together.
Okay.
They cannot have completely different stories.
One at a time.
We're not saying that.
No, actually, sorry. If they're similar, look at Peter Parker. Do you know how many stories? Do you know how many other heroes they try to release that has literally the Peter Parker story that they've never really taken over because people quickly realize, oh, this is just like Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man.
Do you remember Gravity? I don't know if anybody here remembers Gravity.
You've asked this question before, and I had to go research it.
Oh, okay.
Where's Gravity?
Yeah, you've asked this question before.
It was a character in my. I love the character, but you could see it was like Spider-Man for the modern day. And after a while, I think they just realized, you know what, we're going to be treading the same territory we've done. And I think around the same time, Ultimate Spider-Man was around as well. So in the end, they just kind of. I don't know what happened to it. It just got cancelled.
Go down this way. The truth is, finding new and unique
I beg, to stop laughing.
It's going to get you in trouble. Finding new and unique storylines is hard, and studios are lazy.
Yeah.
So they usually default to what they're most familiar with, and that's the point I'm making. They will most likely end up with similar storylines. That's it.
I'm not trying to say anything.
The fact speaks for themselves. I mean, we've seen it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on. But the truth is that I think it's just not been written too great, to be honest.
I agree. I also agree with that. Yeah.
And I think the fact that Miles' stories are not black stories. They are not stories of in the hood or something. Or his blackness is, his blackness or Latin heritage is not a big deal. But Static Shock, there is always a very, very I don't know, guys. I don't know.
No, but
I don't know. It's just never really appealed to me.
It's Static Shock stories. You've seen what's this thing called? We all love the TV show.
I love the show.
It works.
I love the show.
The problem with it is that the writers that they keep putting on it, the same ones they put on Cyborg, they always try to make a point. They are always trying to push something that is not supposed to be pushed instead of focusing on telling a good story. So Miles Morales, we like him not because he's black, but because he has a very compelling story to tell.
Correct.
His blackness just adds to the richness of his character, but that has never been the focus of the character. So,
sorry, go on. Sorry.
So that works. To Dakpo and Red's point about two people, come on. We've had copies of characters existing for decades. Deadpool, Deathstroke, Aquaman, Nemo.
No, we have. There's
that is not
because
and one always supersedes the other.
It doesn't matter. We've had good stories here.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Generally, one will always supersede the other.
But that's how it is in life now. You see they'll get first at the same time.
That's why Static is being superseded by.
It's not superseded.
No. Static. There is no Static. Static
exactly. That's the problem.
So
why is he dead? There's two releasing comics now.
Is it good? I think it is.
You guys were supposed to fight. I don't understand this guy.
But he's still there. He just
okay.
Anyway, so and there was something I said that I was like that his blackness is not key to who he is. I'm talking about Miles here, but to be fair, if you gave a writer who is a good writer, simple, a John Ridley, John Ridley will actually even lean into that blackness, but
make it work
and write such a good story. Yeah, it's simple. So it's not that you give me something weak and then you say, but he's gay now. And so, I needed to say.
I'm sorry. Can we just move on? Because we are.
I think you want to shut down. This podcast. You want to shut down this podcast?
We're just diving into holes.
Let me just say, I'm not coming in to save you on this one.
But you already acid now. You're quick.
Your
own batch of acid there now.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. I just had a flashback to Marvel Pride, and I was just like,
okay.
I wasn't. Anyway, okay. Let's read this one and move on to a movie, please, before anybody talks about Jewish people. Okay.
Oh my God.
my rating for Blue Beetle Metamorphosis. I'm gonna give this a.
That's why you have
I'm
to
gonna
edit.
give
You
it
have to edit. You have to edit at least the last one.
2.2 out of 5 stars. So who's going next?
I have no idea. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I
Wow,
don't know
that
what
was
you're talking about.
pride.
Sorry, my rating is 2.5. Sorry.
I'll give it a 2.5. Therefore, what are your views on Eric Lensher?
Magneto.
So yeah, 2.5. And this section has ended. We're moving. We're moving into the movie discussion.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So the movie Blue Beetle. So
Yes.
who's seen Blue Beetle first of all in the group? So
I have.
I haven't.
DC fan. Okay. Right. Have you seen this yet?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. So I think this dropped on the 18th, right? Last Friday. So there's still room, but we promised that we're going to cover it today. Right. That well, you went to see this movie with some people.
Yes, I did.
Right.
So I took my son and my I'm not who.
I was like, I took my son and the other one that lives in the house.
Everybody just wants to get in trouble today.
I took my 2 sons to go and watch it, and it's a good film. I mean, if you're going to review it, I actually think it's a good film. It's not great. My expectations were kind of met, and it's okay for 2 hours. I think it's about 2 hours long. I found it to be okay. It's had a quality to me that screamed TV, home movie, family movie type vibe, and yeah, the story itself is very strong on family. It's a thing throughout, and it's strangely, even though it's very different from the comic, it's also very similar to the comic, and I don't know how to explain that. The beats are the same, but they just replace certain characters with other versions of that character, if that makes any sense. But overall, if you've read that comic Metamorphosis, you've almost seen the movie, like a slight variant version of it. And we'll score later on. My kids enjoyed it more than I did, so I wanted to point that out. So even Mr. Mayor gave it he gave it a 7 over 10, and my older one gave it an 8 over 10. And he made a statement that this is one of the better DC movies he's seen in a while.
Right.
That was his statement.
Which one, Matt or the older one?
No, the older one.
Okay.
Better DC movie. Okay.
Yes.
That he's seen in a while.
Let's talk a little bit, and I think we can all contribute here a little bit about the not history, but the recent circumstances surrounding the production and release of this film.
Okay, let's do that.
So this movie was supposed to be released on HBO Max, right? So effectively on streaming or TV, as we would say if you were older than 30. But it's actually a streaming movie. But somehow it feels like it's been upgraded for theater release.
So yep.
Now, can anybody tell me if this is part of the DCU or not? I think I know what the answer is, but I want to know your take.
The movie is not part of the DCU, but the character is part of the DCU.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
What does that mean?
He's right. He's right.
It is what James Gunn has said.
He's right.
So we can see the character later, but everything that happens here is just happening for its own sake.
No, this is think of it as an introduction to the character who will continue to exist in the DCU. But that their first Gods and Monsters page is not a part of it. So basically, it's like, don't smell me. Imagine you inherit a project from someone, right? Yeah. And the project is late, delayed, everything is behind. But maybe you inherit the solution architect or something like that. The project is not yours. It's just taking some key people, elements, and said, okay, this will continue to work. But in reality, it's not my project. This is when I took it over from.
Yeah. I mean, James Gunn has already been taking people already, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say
Yeah.
it's the thing. Yeah, you're taking elements from it, but you don't want to be associated directly necessarily with the movie.
They're gonna talk about the Lex Luthor casting.
Sorry?
What?
That's
The
not
rumor,
Is that confirmed?
that
the
is not true.
rumors is not true. Okay.
Is that confirmed? Okay.
Well, I can't believe it to be true.
Okay.
I hope
Okay,
it's not the
continue.
rumor I have had
It's
that
the
you're
one
talking
today.
about.
Is the one
Is
that
that
is your
one?
brother. Yeah, Mr. JS. Is that
Yeah.
one?
It's your brother. Is it my brother? Please, I beg. I am a child of God here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just thinking that since we're all in it today, why stop now? let's keep going.
Yeah. So originally meant to be effectively a streaming or TV movie being upgraded.
Yeah.
This movie cost $120 million. Now we had a rather interesting convo yesterday with another podcast, some members of another podcast, talking about the financials of this. Is 120 million expensive for a CBM movie?
No.
That's what
Is it
we.
100?
That's
Is it 100? Is it 120 million what?
Expensive.
Is it expensive, reasonable, or cheap for a CBM movie?
Given the new reality,
Yes.
it's not expensive. I mean, if
Okay.
you want to play up there with the best.
Yes. You want to bang? Yeah. I even think it's cheap, to be honest. I actually think it's cheap. And I don't mean CBM movie like The Joker or some shit like that. I mean like a CBM movie that has
With
a
a lot of
significant amount
VFX.
of VFX in it. I think this was actually a cheap one, but that money, I think they stretched it really well. I think it was really well handled in terms of how they did it. Now, it's a movie that the marketing has been non-existent, and this is ultimately, to me, what is going to punch this movie in the face. This movie could have, I think, not just made its budget back, but given them a small margin based on what I'm going to discuss later on in terms of the actual movie itself. I think this movie could have actually gotten them a little margin, but because they couldn't, they didn't spend a great deal of money on the advertising or the marketing. I haven't seen this on buses. I haven't seen this on TV. I haven't seen any ads at all. I haven't seen any toys. I haven't seen any tie-ins.
That's so true.
Also, there has. Oh, no, I'm saying I haven't seen.
No, I mean, I'm thinking about it. You're right.
Like no lunch boxes, no McDonald's Happy Meals, nothing at all. There also hasn't now because of the strike, the writers' strike and the actors' strike. There's also been no red carpet. There was a premiere, but only the director went because none of the actors went. So things like that, at the Chinese theater. So things like that could have actually put this movie a little bit more in the public face, non-existent. Now, I booked this movie on Friday to see it on Friday. I skipped it. I was like, I was just lazy. No good reason. On Saturday, I skipped it to do laundry. On Sunday, I only went because I was going to talk about it today. And I went for the last viewing, and there were 13 people in my cinema, and there was one viewing. Not the whole day, but the one I booked was at 8 o'clock. Nothing after 8 o'clock. Typically, you would expect one at 8, 9, and maybe 10:30. No.
Yeah.
Just the one at 13 people in there. Showing that no buzz.
Yeah, it's just to give you my own experience. In my local cinema, so I've got 2 local cinemas. In the one where I went to watch it, it was only one screen. And in the day, on Saturday, which is the busiest day, they had only 3 viewings in that screen for this film. And so but when I booked, I would say it was about 30% full.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not a big screen. I don't know. So there must be at least 30 people. I think maybe in the cinema when I watched it. So but I don't know. I take my other cinema, Sign World, which is a much bigger cinema, much bigger complex, and they have it in 2 screens. And strangely enough, they had it on 4DX.
Are you sure?
Yes, I saw 4DX for this, and I thought, oh,
okay.
But when I checked the bookings, the sales were like I could pick almost any seat I wanted at that time. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for the film, if I'm being honest. As you said, it just seems like they wanted to spend the minimum amount.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get it out there. We've made
Yeah.
this film already. Let's get it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Don't spend too much because
Yeah.
we're not hopeful
Yeah.
about. So and it has that feeling to it. Now maybe
Mhm.
we're reading too much into it because we are fans of this genre and we're saying this. But one of my sons had to ask, "What is this DC? Is this Marvel? What is this?"
Yeah.
They literally had to ask that question to show how much zero bus is around this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
There's no, cardboard cutouts, no posters, no, lights, nothing at all.
Yep.
And this, honestly, in my opinion, this deserves this. So let's talk a little bit about this film. It's directed by Angel Manuel Soto, who is a gentleman, Hispanic. The writer of this is also Mexican. And it is a predominantly Mexican cast in this. I think, as a matter of fact, I think only one of the kind of main cast is Caucasian. Everybody else is Hispanic, either Brazilian or Latina or Latinx or Spanish or whatever. So this movie basically introduces us to the central character or the protag, a guy called Jaime Reyes, who is back from college. Is a Mexican guy back from college in the fictional Palmera city, I think. So he has a small but very, very close knit Mexican family. They live in like a Mexican neighborhood, and they're very down on their luck. Dad's lost the shop. The bank is coming for the house. Just typical kind of broke family story. And then he goes for a job interview, gets handed something by his interviewer. And trust me, I know you've watched it, but let's just move this along. He opens this up. There's a blue scarab in there. Looks like a cyborg scarab. Maybe cyborg is not the word, but a robotic one, which bonds with him. And turns out that this is an alien artifact or an alien entity or whatever,
Yeah.
which has bonded with him, and it is almost a world destroyer, I think is what they refer to it as, and it gives him the power of flight, invulnerability, strength, can make weapons out of energy, and basically it's an origin story for this character called Blue Beetle. Suzanne Sarandon is in this movie. She's Finesse. Veronica Cord, she's the sister of Ted Cord, who is a character Blue Beetle from the comic books. Now, I know Red is going to say I've started again, but was Suzanne Sarandon not looking like a girl for this thing at 76? Okay, now people are looking at me like I'm crazy.
Okay,
I thought this
what like a what? Like a what?
Guilt. A guilt.
What does guilt mean? Can you explain?
Girlfriend I love very much.
What?
I thought it was
No.
I thought it was grandma.
No, girlfriend. I thought she looked good. I mean, I was like, Nancy Robbins, good on you.
I can only say this in Yoruba. Only problem.
No, seriously, I thought I had a problem. But,
no, you do.
No.
That's not mutually exclusive.
But you can't shift your problems to Kex. You have a problem.
They are mutually exclusive. You have yours, he has his.
He has it.
You both have problem.
My mind did not even go to that.
No, I thought she looked good. Honestly,
Okay.
I thought for her age, 76 is getting up there.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the baddie of this, and she has a henchman called Carapax, who has Carapax, who is basically he's played by something Trullo. I can't remember the guy's name. The guy is in Mayans. Very good actor, and he's a choreographer. He's a dance choreographer as well. I think he's like in his 60s as well.
Oh, that guy?
That guy is like in his 60s.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He looked really good. So he's bonded with like an OMAC suit, which is weird because we actually talked about OMAC last week and how much we hate it. It's like a one-man army corps suit. So it's an introduction of, this is the first time we've seen OMACs in live action. Yeah, so there's a couple of big CBM fights, and but it's what I would call a family action comedy superhero movie.
Yep.
If I can put that, I can mash it all up together. Everyone in his family feels like a genuine character. He's from his dad to maybe his mom the least, but his dad, his mom, his sister, I absolutely loved. She's like this sassy younger sister who is always giving him flack. Like, she's just amazing. She's what, in my opinion, Aquafina should have been in Shang-Chi. Not irritating, but funny, and like, she's brilliant. Not like what now? Swallow breathe quietly. That was he's got his nana, his abuela, abuelita, his grandma as well, who's quite a character, and his uncle Rudy, who's played by George Lopez. Now, I historically do not like George Lopez at all. Never found his comedy funny. I think he's abrasive, loud, annoying.
He's a Latin staple. We can't have a
He's
Latin
not
families.
funny. Yeah, but in this movie, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. He's like the kooky uncle who is like a genius engineer, but also like a conspiracy theorist. He's quite the character. Very loud and out, and out there. And then he brings us to the central character himself, which is Cholo, played by Jaime, played by Cholo. Really good kid, very charismatic guy, but I don't even really think he's a great actor. And I'll be honest, this is something I felt even in Cobra Kai. I'm like, good-looking guy, good vibes, great charisma, but I don't know if you're a great actor quite yet. Yeah, so, but I loved him in this. All in all, I enjoyed this film. Are there any specific beats that you wanna touch on, guys? Have you got any questions about this film?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to go over the characters. So I actually agree with Kex in terms of Cholo. I think maybe I got carried away with Karate Kid. I think maybe that story was more tailored towards him. In this one, I think I did notice a bit of limitations in terms of how good an actor he is. Not to the point where I would say he's a bad actor. But
Exactly.
I just didn't feel he brought an A game. But as Kex also said, I like the guy. He's just charming as a guy, so I like him. So I forgive that. Now, I was not a big fan of Rudy, even in this. So
That's okay.
my favorite character was I won't say almost was the abuela, which is strange
Oh, you
because
say Abuela.
With you people today, like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yes.
You've insulted everybody.
Everyone and their grandma.
abuela, as in the grandma in this show.
Not Abula.
Not abuela, the Nigerian food, please no. But I liked her. Now I say that in full knowledge that she's also almost like a caricature of a standard TV trope Mexican grandma type who.
The whole family is a
Yeah.
It's
But
quite,
I still enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the fact that I just forgot to not watch it. In the movie, towards the end, she becomes a key part of the action scenes,
the rescue. Yeah.
and it becomes very clear that she has a very dark history. She used to be one of these. I can't forget the Mexican name for those terrorists.
Revolutionaries. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So she has a past running around doing guerrilla warfare and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and it starts to come out. So I kind of like that little beat that they throw in there.
Yeah.
I actually liked the way they weave this into the DC universe without weaving into the DC universe.
Yes.
So if you're looking out for it, you will see pointers that this is DC universe. You see Lex Core, in the background somewhere. They mention superheroes. I can't remember what they were specific actually.
Batman. Fascist.
Yes,
Batman.
yes. They mentioned Batman, but this could be in DCU.
Very standalone.
This could be in DCU. It could be by itself. They're very careful to tread that line.
Yeah.
And I think they did. The only thing they tread backwards was things that connect to it and it only. So there's a lot of talk about Ted Cord.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about Dan Garrett. All the past Beatles. So they kind of mention it. As, so we know, okay, that's fine. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is one character in the comic, in a way, was replaced with the guy you mentioned that you said is 60 years old.
Yeah, Carapax.
So Carapax, basically, he took the road that Paco did in terms of the technology takes him over and he becomes the kind of antagonist.
The red one.
Yeah. So they kind of did a little switcheroo on that one. Is there anything else? No, I think questions is good because I'm trying to think what else.
Okay.
So they go.
I have a couple of questions. I have a couple of questions. The first one is comparing this movie to other origin movies of similar types. Shazam comes to mind. Venom surprisingly comes to mind.
Okay.
Where do you rate this kind of movie?
I rate this very, very, very high.
Better than those two?
Yes. Oh, by far. And I liked Venom. I thought Venom was funny in some bits. I liked Venom. I was surprised at how much I liked it. Whether or not it's a good film is something completely different. I liked Shazam. But I rate this movie higher than those two.
Those two. Okay, that's fair.
Personally.
I don't like Venom. I think I'm a record that I don't like Venom. I think I'll rate Blue Beetle above Venom, which is not in my mind is not saying a lot. But I'll rate Blue Beetle above Venom. Shazam, no. I think slightly I'll rate Shazam more, personally. But I think Shazam and this film have a lot in common. I think they're both similar in the family orientation. They're both similar in the low budget and the whole family. So.
Oh, sorry, no, go on that one. There's a noise in the background there.
Okay, I don't think that's from me. I can hear it as well. So I think Shazam and it are similar. I would still think I'll push Shazam a bit above that. Now that might be bias on my behalf, but I think I'll slightly push Shazam above it, just by a bit.
Okay. All right, that's fair. I mean, you gave it second, I gave it first of those three. Anyway.
Yeah.
I have a hot take that I'm going to drop later. That's going to have. I know there's going to be some challenges to what I'm going to say. One of the central themes of this is, of course, I think it hits the nail quite on the head. It's also a very there's no subtlety in this movie. It's very much about family. It's very much like my family gives me strength. And I liked it. The family is.
We love Fast and Furious too.
No,
I don't watch Fast and Furious.
I was going to go there.
Not that kind of family.
No.
Yeah, this one.
So Fast and Furious plays lip service to it. This does more than lip service to the whole the family concept. I said something about my favorite character was the Abuela. I literally forgot something that I should have said earlier. I think the best actor.
It does sound like Abula Tree.
Is the dad.
The best actor is the dad. Thank you.
The dad is a very good actor.
By a mile.
Very good actor.
And when he was emoting and doing his scenes, it's a few times I thought, oh, okay, I kind of got drawn in.
Yeah. He's a really good actor. He gives me a real father vibe with the way he talks to his son. It's good. And there are things in their family that I really like when he's going for his interview, they all go with him, and his sister goes, hi May, and it's tongue in cheek. It's like to embarrass him the way you would do it, and he gets embarrassed, but it's all out of love. Like it's a very feel-good movie, I think. That's my take on it. What do you think about the CG, the fights,
Right. Okay. So I'll be very honest here. There's only one
The
place.
superheroics, the flying,
Yes.
the fights, the blast, the beams, blah blah blah.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to pack this one side.
Okay.
There's only one time where I outrightly felt, oh, that's bad CGI, and it had nothing to do with the fights. That's when they showed the steps to the layer.
That was bad.
Yeah. So
That
that
came out of the floor.
Thank
and
you.
Clip,
Yes.
clip, clip.
Yeah.
Yes, that was good.
That one was blatantly, but
That was
everything
good.
else I thought was okay.
Me
And
too.
I have an issue, and this is not a Blue Beetle issue. I have this issue with Iron Man. I have this issue with Black Panther. I have an issue with how nanotech is depicted, especially when it becomes a mask. I think it generally doesn't carry weight. Yet in this one, it was less of an issue for me, and I think I really want to see it again. That did they do something slightly differently? Maybe add a bit more weight to it. I felt it was okay. I loved the bug. I was so surprised. Now, I'm not an expert, and this is why I will say it was on this. I don't know how they did that. That was not a practical effect, was it? The bug.
It was not. It was not. That was
That
not
was CGI.
Yes, it was.
That was good then. I think that was quite good for what they did.
CGI.
I mean, especially on that kind of budget. Yeah. So I have no issue generally with the CGI.
Okay.
I have an issue with one thing though.
Okay.
and this is something I associate a lot with TV films, superhero TV films, is where the power and the ability of the suit in some parts made no sense.
Okay.
There was one
Go on.
part where he made this thing that was like almost like a light-based manacle that held somebody's, and it was separate from the suit,
Yes.
and it held it. And I didn't.
Yes.
So what's that?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I thought, okay, I'll allow it, but
Yes.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah. I'm exact. It's so weird. I felt it while I was watching the thing.
Yeah.
I forgot, and now you mentioned it. I was like, it's a light-based construct,
Yeah.
and it shackles, like basically shot it as like it will shackle the back, the henchman, and at the end he does it to the body, and then he switches it off again, and I'm like, maybe we could have done with something else, but okay. Let's not be too.
And to be honest, because the way I read it is this is purely nanotech. The costume is nanotech. So to be honest, you could simply have made it that he used part of the mass of his suit to create those. They could have, I take it back. But no, all of a sudden it's a light base, like a hard light hologram construct.
Yeah,
almost like Green Lantern-ish in
exactly.
nature. But
exactly.
I shrugged and moved on.
I'm surprised you remember that. There is a character here who you probably wouldn't have noticed much about him, but it's because I like the actor so much, and it's the guy who plays the scientist.
The assistant.
The assistant, yes.
I liked him.
Yes.
I don't know who he is.
Yes. Oh, he's quite popular. He's done I don't know if you've ever watched What We Do in the Shadows, which is a comedy series. Very good. Please go watch that. Yeah, it's very good. So he's one of the main characters there. He was in Puss in Boots. He was a voice in Puss in Boots, the last wish, the one I just came out with.
But it's funny. It's funny you point him out.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
He's also one of the guys in here. When you see him and when you see his, you clearly know this is an actor.
Yes, exactly.
Effortlessly, he was doing his scenes, and you could tell, okay, this is a proper professional.
So I like you. I had no real issues with the CG. Where you mentioned it's glaring. Some parts in the cityscape, it's like it's a very neon.
Yeah,
Miami Vice kind of city. Yeah, go on.
Can I confess something?
Yes.
I wish that city existed.
With all the neon lights and everything.
We're gonna build it.
It felt very, very.
No, when it came out of the airport.
Yes.
And they had, and as you said, there's a lot of neon in this.
Yeah.
For a second, I could not remember whether this is based on a real city or one of those DC fictional cities.
Yeah,
I had to Google it later to confirm that it's fictional. Because I thought, oh, if there's a city that looks like this in real world, I'm going there.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like Miami, but with lots of lights. Like I noticed that their home, that homestead, that their area, their barrio, as they call their local area, you could see there that that's a set. That felt it felt, but they did what they could with the money. I think they made the money go really far. A lot of credit to the director. I've never heard of him before, but I think he did a bang job. I think he did a really good job. I just feel it was a movie that when I finished it, I felt personally very, very bad that this movie is not going to do well. Because I went in with minimal expectations.
Can I criticize somebody?
Of course.
You just reminded me. The worst actress.
Is the mom?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
The girlfriend.
So, that lady, she's not very good. She's not very good. And I almost hesitate to say this.
Sounds like you're being very nice.
I'm trying to be, because she kept acting. She acts like a musician who is acting. She genuinely acts like a musician who you brought to act. She's a looker.
Can I give you a hot take on this?
Yeah. Go on.
It's almost like she was casted for her looks.
There's no almost about it.
And the nice thing is, her looks, for me personally, and this is a me thing, she's good looking. I mentally and on an intellectual level, I know she's good looking, but she looks so typical good looking. It's almost boring. I don't know how to explain.
It's not hot. I understand exactly what you're saying.
You're not saying what you're saying.
No. I don't know.
I don't understand what you're saying. Can you clarify a bit more? Can you explain? I'm not sure I understand the point.
Okay, what he's saying.
She's bland.
No, what he's saying. She got the role by her looks. She looks, and this is why I say she looks like a musician. Like if you ask Shakira to come and act, she's very fine. She's beautiful.
Who?
The lady who acts as Ted Cole's daughter, Jennifer Cole.
Well, you said somebody else Shakira to come and act.
No. It's like you ask Shakira, the musician, the Gerard Piqué's ex, like a very beautiful person.
The kids don't lie.
Who might not necessarily be honestly, even Jennifer Lopez. I'll be honest. I don't think Jennifer Lopez is a good actress. She's a very good-looking person, but that's how it feels. She was definitely cast for her looks. Now, one thing that I'm going to take this even a bit further. Jaime's sister, I thought she should have been his love interest. Jaime's sister is the lady the girl who plays Jaime's sister is a very, very good actress. Like the beginning where they are in the compound and they are cleaning up and they have a part-time job as house cleaners or something. And she's like, just look out, I'm going to take a shit. When she said that, I almost burst out laughing. The casual, the way his sister would tell her brother that, hey, and they go shit, just make sure nobody comes at this time. I was like, this would have been a different take. And, she's kind of geeky as well, a little chunky, wears glasses. I'm like, this would have been a better take than a stereotypical telenovela, fine babe.
That's it.
This thing, I'm like,
it was, yeah. Go on.
No, so Oluwole actually kept mentioning this girl, that Bruna, that she's a big Brazilian celebrity, like she's a big deal in Brazil. I'm sure that's why they cast her in this role.
So this lady.
This is the person that's been said that is a very big deal in Brazil. But no offense. You are correct. I would have. She looks like Kendall Jenner. She's a fine girl, but and she looks a little. They tried to play it down, but at the end it was very obvious.
I don't know what Kendall Jenner looks like.
You know what? I'm gonna go all in actually because
no.
Do it. Let's do it.
There's no
Red.
point. Don't hold back.
Red.
Yes. Yes.
Red.
Oh, God.
If you go to Brazil,
Wait. Let me prepare myself.
Wait, are you going there?
yeah, I'm going to go there. It's not really that controversial. If you go to Brazil, right,
Yes.
and you take all the typical, the typical what is deemed a beautiful looking Brazilian, yeah, take those characters, then you remove as much ethnicity as possible from that person, so you can bring them as close to being white as possible, but still remain a smidgen of ethnicity. This is what this lady was. Today is your laughter that's going to get. What's wrong with today?
Wow.
I get what that person said. So she's like the Miss Brazil when you're doing beauty contests.
Yes.
So guys, this is interesting. I'm actually reading up on her now, and apparently she auditioned to play Supergirl in The Flash, and she placed second. She was second.
Thank God.
And she couldn't participate in the final stage due to COVID, so she couldn't fly out for the final audition. Sorry, go ahead, Red.
No, yes. I was going to say so. They came to their senses, but now you said they said it was COVID.
So you didn't say it. You just thought it. Thank God. Thank God you didn't say it. Wow. Anyway.
Today we're going all in. Either we get cancelled or we go to 1 million views.
Well, for our listeners, thank you for this last episode ever.
But yeah, I agree with you. And I was trying to say that during the movie, I realized they were trying to make her younger. But at the end, when she got on the bike, when she came on the bike and stuff, and I was like, nah, this chick is older than this dude.
Oh,
so I just checked this. She's like 6 years older than him.
Yeah, clearly.
She's 28 and the guy's 22. I was like,
and it also gives a kind of, in the film itself, it gives a kind of, there's this aura.
Edges into your crime.
No, there's nothing there. No.
It has this aura of that Hamey. He's trying to get somebody who's way above his league. His auntie.
Yeah.
You know. Yes. So.
Yeah. But that's standard for this kind of stories now. The guy is always trying to get the girl higher in a bigger league than him. It's not the point of this kind of stories. It's why teenage boys will like this kind of story now. They are fantastic. They get to project their fantasies on this kind of things.
Fair point. Very fair point.
Okay.
Very fair point.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything
I was going
else
to shit Tunde now and say Tunde would know.
You didn't say it.
I was going to say I don't know anything about that. I didn't say
you didn't say it. Any questions or any last things on this?
So there was some after credits. Do you want to talk about the after credit scenes?
Yeah.
They should do that after credit for this kind of film.
Two. Right.
Why?
I'm talking about the first one.
There's two. I'll talk about the first one, and then the second one, I'm going to talk about it with anger. But you carry on.
Okay, so the first one, now throughout this movie, and we're going to use spoilers here, guys. So there is Ted Cord. We don't know where Ted Cord is. Ted Cord disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yep.
Right. So and because of that, Veronica Cord, who is played by Susan Sarandon, is running Cord Industries. Okay, and his daughter is Jennifer Cord. Is Ted Cord's daughter. Now, even she doesn't know where her dad is. He just disappeared on the face of the earth.
Susan Sarandon is Ted Cord's daughter.
Sister.
Okay.
Older sister, yes. And Jennifer Cord is her niece. But Ted has disappeared. We don't know where Ted is.
Okay, so it's not like Ted Cord is from 3 generations ago. It's still
No.
Somewhere reasonably, exactly. Yeah. So now we don't know where he is, and the girl has been, I won't even say she's looking for her dad, more like she's just giving up hope that I don't know where my dad went. He was this great superhero, this adventurer, blah blah blah. By the way, that I found it very unlikely that Jaime never heard of Blue Beetle, and Rudy has to tell him that Blue Beetle was a hero, blah blah blah. Like if Blue Beetle was the hero of Palmyra City, there's no way that Jaime never heard of him. That just anyway. So at the end, because they go into the Blue Beetle cave, where they get some stuff. So a message comes into the Blue Beetle cave, and it says, "Hi, is anybody listening?" We don't see the face of the person; it's scrambled, but we just hear the audio, and we see a scrambled video feed saying, "Hello, if anybody's there, tell my daughter I love her. I'm Ted Cord. I'm still alive. I'm Ted Cord. I'm still alive." Now, just a quick one. The person had a beard, had a mustache. Sorry, when we saw a picture of Ted Cord, so Ted Cord's wife used to paint, so she paints a picture of the family, Ted, the wife, and the daughter, and the person that was painted has a beard and mustache, and I was like, this has to be someone. This is probably going to be someone that we know, or something. Like when they introduce it finally, I was trying to like look, so I looked online, and someone said, could it be Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso? So I was like, okay, that would be cool. And Ted Cord is that kind of a personality. Like, Blue Beetle is a punchy guy, but he's funny. He has a sense of humor. So I'll be like, it would be cool if it was Jason Sudeikis that they used. Anyway, sorry. Second post credit scene. That one. You want to talk about that one?
What? Yes. Why did I have to wait for that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't shoot the film. It wasn't my film.
What was the post credit?
Okay, so two things. I didn't understand what was going on. It was a cartoon. I think it relates to Mexican culture.
Yes.
It was a cartoon to do with
Yes.
Mexican.
Yes.
It meant nothing to me. It meant zero to me.
Yeah.
And I think everybody in my cinema. I think the only person who probably know anything about that would be a Mexican.
It's a Mexican. It's like Speedy Gonzalez, like a Mexican cartoon. It's like if someone did Spider-Man, like Spider-Man. If somebody puts it at the end of this thing, so they even showed it. It played in the movie as well.
Yeah.
It was needless and a bit.
So why
is that
all Hispanics Mexicans?
I think this movie is predominantly aimed at Mexican. Predominantly.
Red, don't you try it. This is a Mexican film, so you can go away. He's trying to cause trouble. What's wrong with this guy?
You should see Ken trying to answer the question.
What did we try?
Kex did not know. It was funny. It was
Kex was doing Saraye. Please.
Okay, so any last opinions?
No, for me it's
okay. Give us your last take and then rate it.
Online people will say no, I know there's people saying go out, rush out to watch it. People try to drum up some, some real Disney fans, unlike today. I try to drum up support for it. Okay, fair enough, dudes. I can't see this film making money. I think even the cinemas themselves are contributing to how quickly this will go away.
They're not contributing to it. They're feeding off the energy from the studio. It is the studio that will tell you that this is our movie. They will give you paraphernalia as well. They will give you all kinds of stuff that will tell you how serious they are. They are not, because the studio isn't serious. Then I don't expect the cinemas.
No, but to be fair, the box office for the next few weeks is not looking like much. There's not a lot coming out over the next few weeks. So it might have what?
Today, people will not go and see it because it is not being pushed. People don't just go to cinema and say, "What do we watch today?" More likely than not, you be like, "Oh, I want to go watch this. Let's go watch this together. Let's go." But
the biggest
there
draw
is no ginger. Okay.
The biggest draw is if they lean into the fact that it was number one last weekend.
If they're going to lean into that.
If they lean into that, people might get to see.
It's the throne. Yes. It's the throne party. Those are the headlines you are seeing.
Yeah, so that people might say, "Oh, this is doing big gangbusters." It's because it's the way you phrase it. So that could get people to call, "Oh, what's this film that's overthrown Barbie? What's this new film that's number one last weekend?" Hopefully, but people are coming out of cinema. Apparently, the cinema score for this is not great. From my understanding, I think somebody said it was a B plus, or was it a B?
A B
plus, which is not good news from what I understand.
It's
not.
not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not good for
It's
legs
not.
at all.
It is not. It is not.
Yeah.
It
What
is
about the
not.
Latin push? I mean, people were saying there's going to be a Latin push for this movie. What
There,
happened?
you know what? I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I have seen some. Now I remember I shared a status from Chicharito Hernandez, who used to play for Manchester United, and he went to see it, and he like put it. Oh, I love this film, and I'm sure he's not the only people. You probably see people like Mario Lopez, and other Hispanic people who go watch it and who will push it as well. But it is them trying to ginger support for something that it has to be a systemic thing rather than them trying to ignite some sort of passion for this. And it's sad. Yeah. I think it deserves. And funny enough, I find the cinema score shocking. B plus. Wonder Woman 84 is a B plus, something like that. Let me check.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84. That is
It's
impossible.
a B plus actually. No, so
How?
like, DC's latest offerings, their cinema score has been somehow. The Suicide Squad was a B plus. It didn't nobody here will call that a B plus movie. So it's like
but while we don't agree with it and we can't understand it, it ends up being accurate.
it shows the actual.
I mean, the
box
metrics
office.
are. I won't really argue with the numbers. So
So it's just weird. Like, are we sure DC is not cost?
We'll find out.
We'll find out
in 2 years.
in
We'll find out in
James
2 years
Bond,
when
Legacy comes out.
We'll leave you to answer that.
But what do you want to score this out of 5 stars?
So I would give it. I've done this math already. 2.75.
Would you rewatch in the cinema?
No. I don't mind watching it again when it comes out on any of the streamers. So I might watch it. I won't go to cinema again to watch this, to be honest.
Okay.
2.75 is quite low. For you, that's like 55%.
It's currently below Shazam, so I think it's fair. For you,
Shazam 1 or 2?
1, obviously. I don't think. Is this below Shazam 2?
I did like
Fear of the
Shazam 2.
Gods? Yes.
Yeah, I think I gave that a 5 or something like that. I can't remember what I gave that.
2.5?
Yeah, I think so. I need to double check what I gave that film.
Okay.
I didn't like that film that much.
No. That's fine. It's just if that was a 5 and this is a 5.5.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, so in my mind, I was telling my son that I was going between a 5 and a 6, a 5.5 and a 6. I wasn't sure where I was going to fall, so I think you know what, I'm just gonna. But when it comes to over 5, 3 sounds so much bigger to me.
It does sound a bit, yes.
So that's why I kind of said no. I'm going to go slightly less than that. It's a pass mark.
Okay. Yeah, I am going to say that I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. I didn't have any big whoop this scenes or parts, but I found myself, it's a very wholesome film. And I'm going to say something here that I know that was going to disagree with and stuff, but let me say it anyway. I found that it really leaned into the Mexican culture, and I enjoyed that. I think it is a movie that actually promotes their culture in a positive way, particularly the theme of family and how it's so central and so key.
Why would Dakwa argue with that?
We had a conversation about something like this a few days ago. So yeah, I think it was on the group. So I think this movie actually did that, and I went into this movie like with an axe and a bat. But it started, and I was
like you always do.
I like this guy. No. It's just because I was like, they're going to kill this film, and I went in like, why should I care when you don't care? But I found myself, I was like, I like these people. I like their family. I like their dad a lot. Um, he's a man. Like there's a bit where they say he I think it was Rudy. It was the uncle who was telling Jaime that look, like as long as we're together, everything's gonna be fine. Now your dad came here when I was 9. I think he was back in Mexico. The younger brother was back in Mexico. That's George Lopez's character. Excuse me. Jaime's dad came to America, worked, sent for his wife, sent for his mom, and sent for his brother. And I was like, this is a very Mexican, almost even Naija thing to do. You know, you're not really like, it's not like for a lot of immigrant families, it's like, it's not just you, it's me, my mama come, me, my wife come. You know, I was like, and now he's an old man in air quotes. He's like, what, maybe late 50s, 60s. And, you know, he doesn't have much in terms of money or anything like that. He just has a house he hasn't finished paying off. He has a son that he's managed to send off to college who feels like there's a lot of pressure on him. He has a daughter who is not even thinking about college simply because that's extra busy. I was like, you know what? I rate this. I like this. And you write what you know. You know, you could have, we talked about this before where we were like, okay, why don't you do something that is like promotes like Mexicans as successful or like a crazy rich Mexicans. But if you came from the hood and that's what you know, David Ayer does it all the time and we don't put a gun to his head. If that's what you know and write what you know. And if you're not doing it in a disrespectful manner, I'm like, I'm all for it. I say all that to say I'm giving this movie a 3.6. Yeah, 3.6. It's my enjoyment of it. Yeah. It's a 72% movie based on I cannot fault it at all. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a movie I will not own on DVD, but I feel that I will watch every time it comes on TV.
I almost just made a DVD joke.
No. DVD. I will.
What is going on today?
I didn't say anything. Kex did.
Okay, I will get it on Blu-ray. You all know what I mean. I tend to get my stuff on hard media. But yeah, I would. But if I see it on TV, I will always stop to watch it because it has that. I got back and I was like, I saw my sister. I was like, go and watch it. And I told her sister, I said, go watch it. It's good. You will enjoy it. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.6.
Okay,
right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough,
when are you going to see it today?
No, I'm definitely going to see when I get back. That's like the first thing I'm going to go and do.
When are you back?
That's not for this. We are live.
When are you back? This weekend, next weekend? I didn't ask you what are you doing though. I said when are you back? Next week.
No, I should be back this week. This week. I'll say it before next week.
Okay, good. So you can drop your review next week then.
Definitely, yeah.
Next week, episode 147, we'll be talking about Mech Cadets. So we're talking about not just the comic book, which is by Greg Pak and a guy called Takeshi Miyazawa.
Takeshi. Did he have a castle? Did he have a castle?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
I knew he was even going to say Takeshi Kovacs or Takeshi's Castle. Anyway, so
when you said Takeshi, Altered came to my head. Wow.
Yeah. It was one of the two. Miyazawa and Greg Pak.
Okay.
So this is I think issues 1 to 12 from the first volume.
Okay.
So we're talking about that, and then we'll also be talking about the episode 1 to 10 of the Netflix adaptation, anime adaptation, or anime. Yeah. Animation.
What about I Am Iron Man? What are we talking about that one? You don't forget.
And we will do I am Iron Man next week as well.
Okay.
1 to 5. So join us. So we got 2 comic books that we're reading next week: Met Cadets and I Am Iron Man, and we're going to be talking about TV. I am Met Cadets on Netflix. Please watch. Right, so time to say our goodbyes, guys. Remember to rate, like, subscribe. Naija's Geeking Out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Red.
Whatever I thought I said, that was what I said.
It wasn't you.
It wasn't
I
me.
said what I said.
I'll see. See you guys and talk to you next week.
Today.
Okay. It's a surprising day when I'm the most responsible one on this podcast. But
That's truly a shock.
yeah, it's a big shock. But here we are. Anyway, looking forward to next week's discussion. Definitely. Please, the behaviors of people on this podcast should not reflect on everybody else.
The views expressed by.
Yes. So yeah, see you next week, guys.
Okay, that will.
Right, listeners out there, please, we know we live in a world of AI. Things can be changed. Things can be shown that to be said that we never said. I wash my hand entirely of this podcast, this particular episode. And as somebody just said earlier, the views contained in this do not reflect my own personal views. But on that note, thanks for listening. I will see you later.
How can you say that line with your full chest?
I'll see you later.
Why are you so afraid to own your truth? Like you said it already. Be proud and bold.
I know. I was saying things and then people were just throwing bombs left, right, and center. I don't know what was going on
You guys
on this podcast.
Everything.
Yeah.
Today.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. See you later.